Hi, everyone. We're gonna start the Wayne Budget Committee meeting for March 24th, 6:30 at the Ladd Center. And we have all members here of the Budget Committee. Also wanted to should we wait on the minutes for the last meeting? Do you think? Okay, so we'll postpone the minutes from the last meeting or the next time we get together. So I guess we'll just kind of jump right into
Do
the
you,
meeting
do you
and,
introduce the two guests?
oh, okay, well, we have.
Not the guests, but the two people who are here.
Yeah, so in addition to Trent Emery, David Stevenson, Eric Stinifer, Jim Perkins, and myself, Amy Black, we have our town manager, Shannon McDonald, and we got Taylor Stevenson. All right. I will hand the meeting over to you.
I don't know if you want to start with capital transfer since we've got Taylor here.
Yeah,
Okay, so it'll
that go
be,
first.
yeah, so that would be on page 5. Under capital transfers, I'll just do a quick run through and then I'll turn it over to Taylor. On here, we have the fire truck. That's at 153. I guess we could just start with you if you wanna
Okay.
go ahead. Okay.
I should have gotten these to you guys a little bit earlier. These are the packets that the select board got last week, kind of detailing where we're at with the proposed fire truck. Just as a recap, we currently have 4 trucks, a 2019 Chevy pickup with a utility body on it that we use for a lot of storm and traffic stuff. A 2001 GMC. I'm sorry, a 2015 Freightliner with 750 gallons of water, a 2001 GMC with 1,000 gallons of water, and a 1987 GMC with 1,000 gallons of water. We are obviously looking to replace the 1987 truck. It is still functioning and it just passed a pump test, which is an annual event. However, it has no ABS and never has. It has no ABS, it has lap belts. The noise in the cab is significant and it's starting to get hard to find parts. On top of a regular plan of between 35 and 40 years for replacements of trucks, we're pretty close. What we're proposing is a 2024 Kenworth with 2,000 gallons of water, which is a significant step up for us, but it is closer to what many other departments are working with now. It's also an automatic. The 1987 was a standard 5-speed, which makes getting drivers a little bit more difficult. This truck alone would double our driver capacity from 3 to 6 right off the bat with people we already have driving. But we also have 4 people that have come on in the last 6 months that will be able to drive it as well by the summer. There's a number of safety improvements and accessibility improvements on this that are kind of outlined in your packet. And then there's also a cost breakdown of the base truck. The base truck starts around 470. Just for comparison, the next year model newer is $100,000 more for a similar, not identical, but similar truck. And then the dealer upfits goes over things that are being put on by the manufacturer or the dealer to put additions onto this truck. So pump compartment heater for the winter, a deck gun, which is standard on all of our other trucks. The electric dump valve makes it so that we don't have to climb on the back of the truck in icy conditions and open the valve in the back, which empties into a portable tank during firefighting operations, and et cetera, down through that line. The local upfits is an item putting foam on the truck, which again is a pretty standard item now on most fire trucks. This truck is classified as a tanker, but adding foam would add us another attack truck. It has all the capabilities of the other trucks.
Is that in addition to 2,000 gallons, or do you have to
Correct.
back off?
No, it's additional. It's 20 gallons.
Oh.
The foam is added at a ratio to the water of between 0.1% and a full percent. So it goes quite a long way. We have a local repair center here that would do that work. The dealer in Mass did not want to deal with it. And then the onboard equipment. There are some items we will be reusing and those are marked, and then other items we got a pretty close price match to establish what we're looking at for money there to upgrade or replace. So the projected fire truck reserve is 440,000 by July when the CD matures. And the total truck cost to date is 592. I'm trying to keep it under 600,000. Which puts us at a request of 152,829.72. The select board suggested 153, I think,
Yes.
for a nice round number. There is an expected variance in this. There are a couple items on the list that are already coming off, but there is also shipping that's not accounted for in the quotes that we have. That's standard since COVID. Nobody's putting shipping prices on anything until it ships. But I don't think that that's going to exceed what we have for funds. We also have a $30,000 equipment reserve account that would help out for that as well. And just again, for comparison, Reed Field, two of our neighboring towns have either ordered or received trucks in the last couple of years. For example, Reed Field ordered theirs and it was between 650 and 700 when they ordered it, and it showed up. That was 2 years ago. It just showed up in the last month, and it was valued between 850 and 900,000. And Mount Vernon just ordered theirs. They're not expecting to see it for at least another year. And they are paying 850.
Are they bigger trucks than this? Is that why?
They have less, they're a different category of truck. They are a more strictly an attack truck. So there's more stuff, more equipment, more cabinets on them, but there's less water. So water and drivers and kind of personnel in general are our main issue here. So this gives us double the water that we usually have on one truck. And it also gets us back to before we bought the 2019 pickup. That was another truck with another 1,000 gallons of water on it. We stepped that back because we didn't feel the need for another full engine. It was nice to have something that was under $100,000 on the road and not have to worry about taking a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 truck out.
So when would you have to have this payment in and when would you expect delivery?
We're using a dealer that we have a great relationship with. They're holding it with no money down right now.
Oh, okay.
And this truck is also built. This is
Oh, so it's
complete. Yeah, so they're gonna do the upfits. It should be here by September.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is another huge plus on top of the cost savings.
What, is there I see this one was 565.
Yes,
Is that, did we get a good deal?
we got a great deal.
Or is this a different truck?
It is
This is
actually a bigger truck.
469.
It is bigger by 2 feet. We had the opportunity, I took one of our firefighters that works on Waterville and we went out and we looked at these two trucks in person. One is in Winter Harbor and one is in Winterport. And we felt that the smaller truck was better for our needs. It has the same amount of water, similar pump. But it saves us $100,000.
$100,000 less.
Yeah.
But it's only 2 feet short.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a model year older.
Oh, easier.
They're
to
both
deliver.
25.
It says 25. No,
24.
yeah. They got us on the number.
But that's our, I mean, it's the same difference. It was ready to go. So
Yeah.
we're getting
Yeah.
it. Good.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the town approves this in June, the only additional money the town has to come up with is about $75,000 over what we've always done in the past, correct?
Correct. We're only asking for an increase of, wow, technically it's double, but it's only an increase of 75 over what we have asked for the last couple of years.
But we've already, that's the 152, is the 75 we've already put in plus another 75. That's how, okay, good.
Yes.
But from a cash flow perspective, from sometime between June and September, we're gonna have to cough up 150,000.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be in our capital.
Well,
No,
not
this is on top of what's in the
Yes.
capital reserve.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we'd have to come up with 75.
Well, no.
Oh, no, because we have to do 2 years. Yes, it'd be 150.
Yes, correct.
Ooh.
And then forward thinking a little bit outside of this request, I know it's come up a couple of times that, oh, we'll dial back after that. And we won't be asking for $150,000 next year, but if we want to keep doing this 10-year purchasing scheme, then we should be looking forward, and it's hard to project. I mean, the 2015
But
was,
the next truck is 25 years old.
right. So realistically, 10 to 15 years, but it's gonna be hard to gauge the cost. The 2015 that we bought was $330,000, and that was expensive at the time. So if we want to keep on this trend, I would say 75 is a good number to start with, and then assess it realistically every year and see if we're on the right trend for the current trucks.
Are there any grants or other opportunities to apply for funds that
I
might help?
haven't seen any. Have you seen?
I think that we missed the window if there are.
Oh.
I would look under probably congressional designated spending, but I think that that was due already.
I see.
Is there a way, thinking of cash flow, is there a way that we could pay them minus this 152 and get terms for like October 1 when we get money in?
Maybe. I can talk with them.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would help our cash flow.
And I don't know, have you and Lynn been talking about how that looks for cash flow?
I'm pretty sure she's worked through it, but we'll take a look at it.
Yeah,
Just-
and we can cover that.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking option.
Right, right.
yeah.
Well, you would have the option of some type of tax anticipation note. Or something.
Right, we could also do a short-term loan or
Short-term.
something like that, but
Never had.
Just looking at all the options.
So we currently had, in January, 427,000 in the bank account. By the end of July, we'll have another 7,400 on top of that. And so then the 153, with the cash flow. Understand that. But,
Good.
thank you.
yeah, okay. Thanks, Dale.
It'll fit in our North Wing station.
It will fit in both,
It'll
not
fit
comfortably,
in
but it will fit in both. I measured twice.
You
Um,
have a good driver to get in here.
we already, yeah, we're,
Take some of that new paint off.
yeah. We're currently at, I think it's 1.5 inches on the sides and 1.25 inches over the top of all the trucks that we have in there. So
Wow.
it's already tight, and that's we won't start that conversation now, but that is something we have to look at in the future.
Yeah.
If you're all set on that, I will get out of your way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you couldn't probably feel it now. Just be like-
All right. So looking at the rest of the
Good times.
transfers, the cemetery committee requested 2,900, so just an increase of 100 over last year. And they're currently at $9,740 in their reserve account. The Lad Rec Center Court, as of last year's warrant, they had requested 5,000 each year annually for 5 years, so we're going into that second year. Always able to change it, but that was their request last year to continue on into this fiscal year. Land and buildings, keeping the consistent $15,000 request from year after year. We currently have $42,000 in the capital reserve for that. But I would project that we need to get the heat pumps replaced in the town office. It gets sweltering hot in the summertime, as those are just over 30-something years old. And so I would expect to put majority of that towards a heat pump, and 15,000 in addition to that, just continuing with it, will help create that buffer in case we have other things. I know the east wall of that building also is flexing.
You said it's 4,300 in the account now?
Mhm.
43,000 in the account right now.
43,000.
And so in the back of your books, I believe that you had a copy of
Yeah,
this.
in
It
the
should
back of
have
the-
it
there were.
It
listed.
hasn't changed.
No, it has not yet.
Really.
Not yet. But we did put out a charge in November for a buildings committee, and so far the select board has appointed 2 members to that. They have not yet met, but I would hope that we would get a couple more members to start assessing each of the buildings, since the risk Maine Municipal Association's insurance and risk representative came and walked, or adjuster came and walked the properties with Chief Stevenson and myself. And there will need to be some decisions made, I would say, regarding the North Dam building with the floor. It's currently the Joy Systems giving out. The schoolhouse and then the townhouse. are 3 vacant buildings. So our insurance has decreased for those 3 buildings because they're vacant, but there are some concerns as far as maintaining them, such as the fire escape on the schoolhouse is rotting out and needs to be addressed, as well as some other maintenance needs. So there will be some tough decisions, I'd say, to make regarding those buildings, and that'll be something for the town to decide as we near to that and get some more advisement. Any questions regarding land and buildings? Okay. Tempe Bridge, met with the infrastructure committee yesterday morning. There was a request to put in 50,000 for Tempe Bridge, right down off of Mount Pisgah Road, the border with Winthrop. We have come up on the radar through DOT for that bridge needing replacement. It was currently posted this past year, and if it gets posted for another weight limit, then we'd only have about 2 to 10 years. It seems like a big window for potential dam failure or bridge failure, excuse me. And so starting to put money away for that, and then also to look into funding opportunities for it as well. But that's just to help facilitate any kind of replacement that needs to come in the future as the infrastructure committee starts to weigh out the options. For the road reconstruction and paving project in years past, we've decreased that since then. Yesterday, the select board had suggested 250,000, expecting that 50,000 would roll over from the roads operations account to make it a 300,000. The infrastructure committee yesterday decided to vote to recommend 300,000. So that's been updated since yesterday. With a projection of doing 7 surface paving projects this summer. And then looking at 3 reclaim projects following into the fall, potentially. And then also more projects as well with that. And I think that we're starting to look at bonding options for Dexter Pond Road. We'll need some reconstruction done as well. For the sand and salt shed, along with the Lad Rec Center last year, there was a $5,000 request to put in and start storing for the replacement or repair of that building. On the backside, it's bowing out a little bit and it's starting to rust due to some of the salt exposure. Technology plan did not increase that this year. We still have, I believe it is $6,775 in that account, which may go towards additional monitors and some cybersecurity that we need to have in place for our systems and software at the municipal office. One thing that I have not included on this and I need to include would be an additional $8,000. The comprehensive plan committee met on March 5th. And after discussing their options, instead of pursuing Kennebec Valley Council of Governments for 30 to 32,000 and supporting their full project for 8 to 10 months out, they instead chose to recommend 8,000 as a potential for a matching grant if they were to apply for maybe a community action grant, or we are going to be having an intern at the at the town office this summer, and that ranges around $8,000. So if that works out, then there's at least an option to either get about 300 hours out of an intern, or a matching grant for a matching portion for a fund, or for administrative costs as needed if they wanted to hire KV-Cog hourly.
Did you say you want to add 6 or 8,000?
It's 8,000.
It's 8, okay.
Was their request.
Under
Shannon,
capital
I
reserve.
was gonna say, well, you wouldn't make that a capital reserve account, would you?
I don't know where I would put it actually under.
Doesn't seem like it would fit as a capital reserve account.
I
If
would
you
think it would
kinda
be
not-
up in the.
You're gonna be
administrative-
expensing it this year, right?
Yeah.
But weren't they thinking of other things too that they were gonna have to add for the comprehensive plan, or no?
For what?
Other costs,
I don't think so.
weren't, then the best place would be back in, under
General.
admin, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I assume so.
So then you can expect to see that under general administration when we do our final review.
A question, I thought, getting back to technology, I thought didn't we have a line in the admin where to replace the computer, you're gonna replace one computer?
There is a line for some computer upgrades. I think it's Verify, I don't know. So for computer repairs, it's $500.
Oh, okay.
And so this year we just increased it up to 1,000.
Okay.
under there.
To buy a new system, you could take it out of the technology capital.
Yes, it would have to go through the select board for approval, but
Right.
if that was something that we could get a full package on and bring a request to, then we can move those funds under or extend from that account.
Now that I have the spreadsheet in front of me, I can see when we've done other debt service before.
Mhm.
And it was back in fiscal year 16-17
Okay.
that we first did bonding for Kings Highway. And then it was the next year, 17-18, we bonded Mount Pisgah Road.
Oh, yeah.
And then in 18-19, we bonded Lovejoy Pond Road. And then 19-20, we did the Walton Road. So
All
each one of
5-year
those,
bonds?
they were all 5-year
Every
bonds.
5 years, they came up.
So there's, you make 2 payments of interest and then 1 bond payment per year.
And the goal was to get to a point where we could self-fund, which we've been doing the last 2 or 3 years. We got to that point by adding, and the bonds were going on at the same time.
Yeah, each bond, was around, the first 2 were about anywhere from around 60 to $50,000. And then they went down to 40 and 58. And I think the plan was at the time is that they put around 300,000 towards roads. And when you took out these bonds, you would, whatever was left over, you put that in the road reserve. And you build up the road reserve so that by the time you got past the bonding, it could go directly from the reserve.
Good, Shannon, that's good.
Okay, any questions for capital reserves?
Nope.
Okay. We can go back to page 1. Oops. There's a. For outside agencies, what we did was we moved a bunch of the groups under here from recreation to outside agencies, so you could get a solid bottom line of what is coming from other organizations outside of the town. That includes the library, Wayne Community Church or Messenger, the Wayne Cemetery Association, the Kennebec Valley Humane Society, Kennebec Land Trust, Cobussy or Watershed Friends, the Androscoggin Lake Improvement Corporation, the 30 Mile Watershed, and I was going to ask about the Androscoggin Yacht Club dock. I understand that that's for docks, but would that still just go to Androscoggin Yacht Club?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so those all got moved to the outside agencies. In addition to last year's requests, 30 Mile Watershed asked for an additional 15,000 on top of their 10. To cover the research and studies that they're starting to conduct on the Androscoggin Lake algal bloom. There's been a small, outside of the town, committee from the stakeholders of 30 Mile River, from Androscoggin Lake Improvement, and then just some other concerned citizens and select board members from the 2 towns between Leeds and Wayne, that are starting to research and put in some grants, funding, so. I did not hear anything from the Maine General Hospice, Maine Public Broadcasting, or Children's Center, or Hot Meal Kitchen this year. Do you have any questions?
Could you run through that list
What?
again?
I don't remember having a good memory of this. What?
These were the ones that used to be, we separated them. They were together, then we separated them.
Well,
Yeah, we
yeah.
separated them because there were ones that were requests from people that just sent requests in, period. They were out of the town.
Mhm.
We kept the ones that were in the town, like the library, the church, the cemetery. We had those somewhere else because they were kind of in-town things.
The
And the oth-
cemetery was,
And the others were out of town.
that's why I'm like, why?
And it was always a thing, I know that it was just like, this, let the townspeople handle them one by one, not as a group. Because you can't, when it comes up as an article, you can't change the total. It has, if they're all grouped together.
I think, for outside agencies, yes, those are all individual.
Right,
And then under recreation, those all fall under the town.
which would be one shot. And some of it, so we've flip-flopped now back to the other way we did it, where we put them all together.
So the actual budget for Wayne Cemetery was not zero in 25, it was just.
Correct.
Another space,
It was in a different location.
Correct.
but it wasn't, it was always around that number.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
funky
if
when
you-
Well, no,
You just go to
Trio.
page 2, you'll see it under page 2, and it was budgeted at 14,600 in
they
fiscal year
went, they went
25.
way up when they were cleaning stones or something, and then they came down.
Well, they have a separate stone cleaning
Oh, there is?
request,
Okay,
but it was 14,600 in 2025. And then 14,600 again last year, and now they are requesting,
the mowing went way up, it was the mowing on that. That was
Well,
the difference.
yeah, that's what they
So
charge.
it wasn't zero.
No, if you go
correct.
back to two, it
That's
was,
my question.
yeah, no,
I think
because it was
the
where we
trio.
had it someone else, we had it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Evidently, they all wanna bring it all in together, I don't know if it's a good thing to have them all together, frankly.
So if you go
It's
to,
just a spreadsheet, that's all. It's not, I understand.
No, they'll change the article, though. This is the way it'll be in a warrant
yes,
So it'll say,
altogether.
So when you're, so in Trio, when you're moving from one thing to the other, sometimes, the previous year stuff doesn't always move
so
very
yeah,
nicely.
it still falls under recreation for fiscal year 25. And then for this year, we just moved it under currently because we can't. If I had gone back in Trio for last year, it would affect it, the overall numbers. Since we're still currently in 2026, we can update that, and it will carry it into that account.
the reason why I'm asking is because when you look at the difference between 16,000, 47,000, 72,000 and 3-year jump,
It's
it's
not
not
accurate.
it's not an accurate statement of that,
Correct.
so it's unclear.
Right.
And I don't know if this is being presented. Okay, that's all. I understand now. I just, I had forgotten.
So,
Would you mind going back to who you didn't hear from?
yes, so that was from Hot Meal Kitchen.
Hmm.
The Maine General Hospice Volunteers. Maine Public Broadcasting and the Children's Center in Augusta.
I don't know, about the third, second and fourth, but, I'm surprised we didn't hear from the Hot Meal Kitchen.
Yes, last year they didn't get their request submitted either, and when I had called them,
Oh.
just to verify this was last year.
Yeah.
They said that they had lost their funding, but then they had gotten new funding, and so they weren't seeking additional funding from the town of Wayne.
Oh,
This year, I didn't follow up with a phone call,
yeah,
but they didn't submit anything.
okay. Well, I'll be in there tomorrow and I can just ask.
That's fine.
Okay, and Maine Public Broadcasting, I think, was very important to Lincoln Lad, and I think that's part of the reason why it's been in here. But I don't know. Anyway,
Are there any suggestions or any changes from the budget committee?
In the 30-mile watersheds additional ask, they must be informing the select board or what they're intending to use it for and do with it.
Yes, they did outline that in their request.
A lot of the algae bloom.
Yes, it's all for the algae bloom. So they sent a separate letter here. Bring it down. So they sent 2 letters. They broke one into the 10,000 for last year and included all of their statements, their balance sheets. And so that was all of that information. So I just highlighted right there. That's the 15,000 to support the completion of professional environmental assessment to better understand, prevent recurring algal blooms in Androscoggin Lake. And then that's the 10,000 that they typically request for, and these are all of the things that they.
So the 15,000 is for more like research.
Yeah, specifically for Androscoggin Lake.
Got it.
So it could be a one-timer and it'd go off next year, hopefully, or.
I believe so.
Well, I mean, this is a multi-year project,
Yeah.
so this is just the first step. Who knows what they'll need next year.
Okay.
but the research part of it could be a
Interested to see what these colder
Could be,
temperatures do this year.
short term.
Or
Think
multi-year. I don't know.
Right.
Oh,
Isn't that
okay.
a factor?
hang on.
And the ticks went well too.
But then
Water
whatever we're gonna do
Water
about it.
temperature,
yeah,
water
that could be a-
temperature in July.
That'll be a
Right.
different thing.
And we're
Maybe
still in a
start
drought
alcohol.
season right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could potentially see, higher temperatures, given the fact, if we don't get more water and rain, it could be warmer and could create an algal bloom sooner. Yeah. So I think that's their concern. So that would be for outside agencies. If you flip it over to,
Could I just ask one
Yeah,
minute? What, do
absolutely.
you know what the children's center is?
I do not, I attended the Aging at Home, I met with them last week. And there were some residents that had explained that the Children's Center is a place in Augusta.
It is, yeah.
Um,
So it helps children, usually young preschool children. I know that there used to be volunteers that used to come from the high school from Maranacook.
Oh,
I know that was how my daughter first got introduced to what a physical therapist
yeah,
is. And so usually it's helping a lot of young children that have some challenges.
Yeah.
And I think they would look at who they had for folks in their programs from different towns and send an ask out that way.
okay.
Um,
Cause I, I know, Teresa volunteered in one of the lower grades and that it was quite,
they do amazing work.
noticeable that a number of kids in our school are having some challenges. Does anybody mind if I call those 4 groups? Or do you,
That's fine.
okay,
We'll do a final review at the next meeting and kind of just run down any changes through the whole budget.
Okay.
Under recreation. So the only thing under recreation, and I want to talk with Eric, under retirement, what we have, I noticed that the youth coordinator's retirement has been coming out of the general account, the E100-0180. So I've got to go back in and understand what all those calculations were for the last so many months, 8 to 10 months, and then project what that will be for next year, and then update that to make sure it comes out of this line. As I also go through, I'm going to go through, I found the one you sent me in February in my email just now.
okay,
And so I will go through that and see how we can start incorporating that into this.
Okay.
And that was something that the select board had discussed. And I believe that there's a meeting scheduled for April 9th for a workshop for the Lad Rec Center.
On the ordinance.
On the ordinance,
Yeah.
yep. And so I will take the information that you got me for the budget and we'll try to get this put into here.
Okay, just for the benefit of the rest of the budget committee.
Yep.
I brought this up a year ago when we were talking about this the first time, that we're making a shift in how we budget for the Lad Center. In the past, the only thing that has shown up in the town budget was the $2,000 of appropriation request. We're now gonna put the entire Lad Center operating budget into the town budget, including all of the external revenue sources. Is this?
So retirement does show up here.
Yes, because one of the things that changes that we're making this year is we're shifting the financial responsibility between the Lad Center board and the town, such that all of the operating costs associated with building and the grounds will be incorporated in the town's land and buildings budget. And all of the costs associated with operating the Lad Center programs will fall into the Lad Center recreation budget.
And will that be in here where we're
Yes.
looking at probably this?
So it will include all of the overhead benefits and overheads associated with the director position and staff.
Yeah, but considering this is considered a town of Wayne building, and it'll be part of the buildings committee's charge, is to oversee the maintenance and operations of this building. And so that's also including, we had also discussed an update to the general administration for the inclusion of chairs. That'll be under office supplies. I believe that was estimated around 8,000 for about 100 new chairs to come in, because the biggest event that happens here is the town meeting. And so you can expect that the town should be included in that budget.
So will all these line items eventually roll into here, do you think, Eric, or no?
Well, no, because
Not the pay.
all of the building related costs
Mhm.
Oh, those will go.
go over to land and buildings.
But the payroll, more on the payroll side.
Yes,
And program side,
right. Everything under payroll and program expenses would fall under recreation.
okay, and then the income would have to come in here somewhere.
Exactly.
I think the biggest hurdle we've had so far is just working with Trio, and we were still just trying to figure out, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, moving things around. It was just a kind of a hurdle to try to get all of those organizations from recreation to outside agencies. And so we finally just figured that out, and we're still kind of working out some tweaks on some of these things. But that will be updated. The maintenance and repairs, what we have on here that is understood to be for parks maintenance. And so that was increased from 3,500 to 5,000 to update more of our, like the tree trimming, bush trimming, in a lot of, like in the downtown parks and everything, specifically Memorial Park. And then we also have another park over at the North Wayne Dam. And there was a request from the Conservation Commission for 20,000 to replace those steps. We've gone over and taken a look at some of those steps, and the steps themselves are not in bad condition. They're just falling apart. They're uneven, and so they're not safe. Those and the handrail need to be redone and replaced, removed and redone, as well as the couple of the benches could be repaired and the fencing that goes around the park. There's also a Japanese knotweed there that could also use some maintenance as far as getting that out. It's an invasive plant that's taking over the park.
Getting back to this, Eric, you said this isn't the most is there a big difference in the bottom line between this?
In
And
terms of the financial impact of the town, I think it's a minor increase. We increased the requested town appropriation from 4,300 to 5,000.
For the mowing under recreation, all of that got moved under one mowing line for the land and parks.
But move.
Yep, and so all of that, I mean, it was broken out into every different area, and so just keeping it all as one contractual amount under land and buildings, you'll see that in 113. And then if you notice down underneath the recreation, community service or social services, without all the outside agencies, the only ones that are there are the Wayne Athletic League, and that's primarily for. There was an increase in that cost. That's for the, I believe it's the summer kickball or softball through the youth coordinator here. And so that's for new bats and t-shirts and hats. And then the Memorial Day Committee. But that gives a total of $1,300 for the recreation department.
just obliterated the recreation department.
Well,
Well, sitting over here on the side.
some of that's coming back. We get the Glad Center numbers in here, but
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
So moving on to section 113, it's on page 4. So operating expenses, this is primarily for some maintenance of buildings and then utilities. So 02, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, and some of 99 is primarily all electricity. So you'll see just in 2025's actual, 2026 just year to date, it significantly keeps increasing. So aside from our public services, public safety department, this is probably electricity is one of the larger increases that we'll see.
so Shannon, we'll need to add another line category here for the Lad Center, at least one.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So for utilities and everything.
Right.
Yeah. And then maintenance and repairs increased from 3,000 to 5,500. And we'll see if that's sufficient as far as repairs and things. We'll kind of take it slow over the next year or two and kind of identify some things. And so the Lad Rec Center director and I are going to schedule a time this spring to do a walkthrough. We already met and discussed it, but to do a clean out of the shed, of the back rooms over here, and just kind of walk around and see what things need to be done in the Lad Rec Center. And so we'll start looking at that.
I have a question under town office shared expenses. I can see that, we had like not quite $5,000 back in 2025. Budgeted 10,000, but have only spent 2,600 so far this year, but budgeted another 10. Is that something that?
Yeah, so I kept it at 10, given that east wall repair. If we do the heat pump, and the fire chief also suggested heat pumps for that whole building instead of just the office. It might be a little more costly, and so it would just give us an extra buffer. I mean, this is including oil, propane, because we have the radiant floor heating. I don't know what the propane's for, but we have 2 different bills for that, and then the electricity bills.
Some people use propane.
Are they still a good buy with the electricity costs going up? Cause you said you have radiant oil, like what not about
So-
an air conditioner?
The heat, yeah, I don't know about an air conditioner. I mean, I don't know what other options there would be.
I don't either.
Or-
I'm kind of just asking a
Yeah.
question, cause electricity is going through the roof.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It's
don't know.
also supposed to be efficient,
Well,
but that radiant heat is, you're not gonna.
Well,
cool
oil's
with
not
it.
too much better now.
You're not, yeah, you're not gonna cool with it though, you know what I mean?
No, I
The
understand.
radiant heat's great for
for
the
the
heating
winter, yeah, and it kind of just keeps that at a very slow
level.
temperature, yeah, and that's very manageable. It's the summertime where it just starts to get really hot.
Yeah,
And so that's the only concern, is just having something to cool the building.
But
no, I understand. I didn't know if the tech, if they were still pushing those, 3 years down the road with rates going up.
Maine's still giving
Yeah.
rebates, so.
Ah, got it. All right.
Yeah,
I just didn't know
efficiency.
where they stood.
Are they efficiency maintenance still giving rebates?
Mhm.
I see.
So I'm gonna reach out to Efficiency Main and see what we can do, but between that and then the reserve account, see what we can get done. I think the last quote I had it was pretty expensive, I thought, for heat pumps. Like 15,000 or so.
It's a big building.
It is, and it might be more than that if we do the whole building. That was just for the office. But that's an old pump and it stopped working, so it's over 30 years old. Other than that, you'll see the mowing contract down there. That's the total amount. And so that way we can kind of go off of that each year, and that'll be contractual. This past year was the first year. We're moving into the second year. And then we'll have, I believe, 1 more year after that, but you'll see that consistently as a contractual amount.
We moved the rec center mowing into that too, or no? No,
Yes.
it is inclusive, right?
All of the mowing is under that one.
All
contract.
mowing, okay.
Correct.
You get a better deal than cemeteries, okay.
All right.
And that is that. I think page 5 would just bring you back to the capital reserve account.
Have there been any numbers yet from the RSU or the county, any preliminary numbers?
So there's been a lot of discussion about that recently, just with the move of the kindergarten class. But as far as I'm tracking right now, I was looking, I think, at a 6% increase for the schools. Approximately, and so that would be about a $15,000 a month increase for the town.
150. 180,000.
180,000.
Has there
increase.
been much change in enrollment from the different towns?
They stated that it's decreased a little bit.
Cause I know in looking back at a number of the RSU, previous years. So the formula is, average of, was it valuation and then how many students, for 3-year average. So sometimes, when we put in an amount equal to just the expected increase, we didn't realize how much there was a change because we had a change in enrollment and there was a change in valuation, so.
I think enrollment's declining across all the towns. I don't know if it's proportional or not, but
I know definitely when you look at what our portion is, per pupil,
Yeah,
it's a
big number.
We
Big-
used to have- we used to have that. I thought it was 30,000.
So how many students from Wayne attend the RSU, do we know?
Do we have
The
that?
number?
Did the RSU send that sheet out?
Yeah, they've sent out, a few different things.
It'd be good if we could have, I'll show you a copy of it. I
Mhm.
still have it. It was really good to have because it kind of gave us a barometer
Yeah,
and.
While you're looking for that, what was the mill last year? It was 11 point, what was it?
11.9.
9.
0.9.
Mhm.
Oh, 11.9?
Mhm.
11.9.
11.9.
Yeah. Mhm.
You probably haven't, have you made an estimate for this year? The mill yet? No, I guess ballpark.
So. What's up?
That's
Oh, for the district-wide enrollment and budget, so for RSC 38, Wayne Elementary has 64 students involved, enrolled, K through 5.
What's the? What happened, Miranda?
The total?
No, from what? I'm trying to figure out how much
Oh.
money is paying for kids to go to the
Well, that
RSU.
form that I had used to have it on it, but it's in my other file. But it was, I'm almost, it was around 30,000
Our
Hey.
town's cost.
I feel. Per student,
per student.
I think it's less than that.
It was scary. So last year, 1 mil was equal to 184,194 of valuation. I mean, $184,194 equaled 1 mil
So we say that again?
last year.
Yep.
184, 194. But that's before we had revaluation. So now I'm questioning what would be 1 mil now?
Is that was before reval or at 11?
That was before we did the reval.
Okay. So we more than doubled, so according to. That number seems, I'd have to go back in my notes, that number seems. After we were reval, no,
And so who have any,
no.
I can't remember, but here's the, I'd like to get back to this kind of format too, if we could at some point. This was same as yours.
Right, I put in as many numbers as I could get.
Those were the
Okay, thanks.
historic mill
Mhm.
before revaluation.
Oh, sure, I'm looking at now at 20.54
Sure.
mil, yeah, got it, so we cut that in a little less than half, so middle is just a little less than double that.
So it's gonna be, what I would estimate would be about double what I had mentioned.
Yeah, because we went from 20.54 to
11.
11.9, so that's. Yeah, a little less than 50%. So, okay. Interesting, yeah.
I just made more there's something like. Turn this around, whoops.
That's it. That's it
Yeah.
right there.
And-
Is that,
This is, I think, 2 years ago.
Were you looking for the total enrollment of students?
it was 20, right?
145.
Yeah, that's Wayne.
Oh.
20, 2 years ago.
20,
So,
No, I was
yeah,
just
they were
thinking about
11,
kids
16,
coming late.
13.
so it has 145 broken down out of the. Well, that's what it said on this PowerPoint.
No, I was just interested in how many students live in Wayne, go to the RSU.
This
What
is,
the cost is per pupil.
Well, that was
$21,140 per student.
2 years ago.
Let me see if this is true.
That was what.
20.
Wayne-
So this
Wayne-
kind of breaks out each one of the
Wayne
towns
for our kids.
and then how much we would be
That's the
paying
one.
like per student.
That one was 20,000
And this was from like 2 years
2
ago
years ago.
and we were 20,000 per
It's gone
student.
up, what,
Yeah, it's
12%?
21,140.
Do you think that's a real number now? 21,000?
This is just in one of the superintendent's recent PowerPoint.
Is it that per year?
Yeah, 6%.
I didn't get to see
increase.
it, she's.
Current fiscal year 27 total,
Oh.
$3,065,270 for an increase of $173,558. 145 students who are enrolled.
From Wayne,
Yep,
145 students?
yep,
145 from Wayne.
yep, for a total student cost of $21,140.
Okay, what's the state contribute? Is that roughly 10, or do we know that number?
Might be in this PowerPoint. Do you want me to forward this email to you?
I was just curious what it costs per
Good,
pupil to
yes,
educate.
please.
Yeah.
Cause it has that form, I think it has that
They
same
get
form.
10, that's.
I just wanna use that same one still. don't
So
they?
so I'm looking back at one from fiscal year 24. And it has the middle school tuition rate at 11,843 and the high school tuition rate at 13,300.
Two.
So when you compare that to what we're paying,
13,000
yeah,
High school, 11,000.
843.
This is previous, this isn't current, that's not current,
Yeah, this is fiscal
2
year
years.
24.
Oh, wow, so
Yeah.
it's
it's gone way
gone
up.
up. Or the state's contribution, well, actually.
Well,
the
no,
state's
we
not
were-
contributing,
The state-
so Maybe it's staying.
Gone away.
They, decreased their funding by 665,000 this year
It's decreased.
That's
So we-
across the board.
across the board
Right.
for Marana.
Yeah. So back here, we were at 20,381 per student.
Now it's gone to 21.
Sure.
Then it,
What's your email?
21.
My name.
And
Jeff
it's,
Perkins,
back
foreign-
here, we had 140 students
at
And now we got 145.
Hotmail.
and 145.
It's gonna come from my personal email,
On
'cause I'm on my
average,
phone.
just for.
Okay.
Okay.
It's about $34,000.
Dave,
per
what,
student. per
No,
kid from Wayne.
no, it's 21.
Yeah, but the state, but that doesn't count the state's contribution, isn't that just the tax?
That's just the bill from America.
But isn't that 21 just represent
What we
Wayne's
pay.
contribution, but that's not representing the total cost per
Correct.
kid,
Correct, so the state's gonna put in,
13. Plus minus, right, minus 600, 13,300 for a high school student.
Oh, no, they were, so when you're comparing how much it's cost for each of the students from the different towns,
Mm.
and then you look at what the tuition rate is, if they can't charge more than I think a state amount, right, for the tuition? I'm not sure.
Maybe I misunderstood what you were
Yeah.
just telling me. I thought you were telling me what the state's contribution
Oh.
is.
no, she was.
You were
break-
just listing the different towns.
No,
Yeah.
she was breaking down the primary school and the high school kids,
Mhm.
the difference in cost. One
I
was 13
understand.
One
I
was
misunderstood.
13 and one
Yes,
was
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
9 or 11. So that, add those two together, you come
yeah.
up with a
Yeah,
21,
I
140.
misunderstood.
You're right, Trent, that 21, 140, there's more to it than that.
Because
Mhm.
doesn't
Because
the
the state
state
would,
gives a certain amount per pupil,
correct.
so I'm trying to figure out. It's a different
Is that on-
conversation for a
is
different
this-
time.
It wouldn't be on their thing either, would it? This, what the state contribution is.
it might be. What's your email, Dave?
You can use david@simpico.com.
Okay.
Oh, does that work for you? We have a hard time.
I'm sending it from my personal email. I hope
That'll
that's
work.
okay. CENPECO.
Mhm.
Okay. There, I just forwarded that email from the superintendent telling you. Mhm.
Thanks.
And so, it's in the second draft budget presentation. It kind of goes through everything that we were just talking about. And then they've had a lot of, different,
Network in here.
meetings.
You just
Oh,
need
so
to put a
powerful.
password.
Central Maine.
The school has,
Mhm.
yeah.
Central Maine.
And I believe the, school board or school committee is gonna be having a meeting on Friday.
Right,
I don't know what time,
yeah, we won't be here, but Teresa is gonna try to zoom in.
right? Okay.
In any of that paperwork, did they give a budget? Did they separate the operating budget for the Wayne Elementary School?
I haven't looked through it all.
Yeah, that's fine. I was
Okay.
just wondering if they separate like what that.
When it
What that
gets
school
close,
costs
they
a month.
used to put out like a newspaper thing that had all those numbers in it. And it broke it all, that was great. It broke
Yeah.
everything, right before the vote usually.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look.
So this is a big thing. What they're doing is a big thing
Mhm.
affecting Wayne. I mean, it's really disappointing that they've come out so hard, strong-armed
Right,
and grabbed kindergarten right out of the blue.
right.
But,
I think it's not an entirely done deal.
It's not our charge, but I think at some point, there's gotta be a group in town that maybe look at breaking away like Fayette did. We could keep our own school. I mean, quite frankly, the people next door to me moved in, bought that house for a big price because of the school. And you wanna see our values plummet, we start doing that, it's gonna hurt everybody.
Mhm. Yeah, so I believe that, the, school committee will be having a meeting on Friday.
Wayne School. can-
Yep, for the elementary school. I'm not sure what time, but I've gotta, once I get more information, I'll post that.
I suggested to some of those people that they have our lawyer with them. Just make it official.
Does the school, like the,
The committee would have to have a town lawyer or something.
So I don't really see, that budget. in What you sent, I just see
For Moran.
the budget process.
they're gonna send a final, so there was a fiscal year 27 second draft budget presentation.
Okay,
And so they presented their third draft, March 18th. They just had a community forum on Wednesday last week. Yep, that was the 18th. And, that's the one that I think some of our residents showed up to discuss. And then they'll be doing their final, budget for board approval on April 15th.
and usually these, the documents, I don't think they distributed those. I think they used to just give them to the town. I don't remember seeing like the documents that I just showed you as something that they passed out in the regular budget committee meeting, so I'm not sure it's something that will be present in any of their documents. They'll probably send it to you under a different cover, I'm thinking.
I'm gonna go back, and, the mill in 25 before the reval was 20.5, is that what it was? Can't remember, I think it was 20.5, you said, prior grad. And then the other question I had on the capital reserve for the road, can you briefly?
20.54.
20.54, if, is that gonna, when we add the 300, if we add the 300, does that bring the reserve back to like over 700? Am I
No,
misreading that?
no, because we're,
We just spent 200, so it should say what we have in here.
I think it's, I just wanted to better understand that.
what
you gave
the
us.
road, infrastructure committee is looking at doing is these seven roads, so they're
Yeah.
gonna take 7 roads and take the money out of here, right? Money out of here to, put a surface on like Pond Road, Richland Mills, Innisridge Road and Old Winthrop Road,
Okay,
and Betsy Road.
Yeah.
The ones we ground and
Yeah.
surface last, put a finished surface on all of those. So the 7 roads are gonna finish off, which is gonna complete 400, roughly 400 and, it was 438,000
okay.
is gonna come out of that, which leaves about 200 and. Let's see, 438,
Did you want this little?
about 180,000 left in there,
And then we're gonna add.
and then you add 300 to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that, actually Henry had kind of proposed, and got some estimates. This is based off of historical data. What Pike Industries had, put in. The highlighted, portions are just an assumption, because they didn't have it for, the per tonnage in September, for those years. But this was based off of what we had just gotten for quotes in September of 2025 and then in July of 2023. And so he came out with an estimate price of $120 per ton and $350 per square yard for reclaim and fine grade. So we did that calculation down here to get an estimate based off of the width and length of those roads for 438. And so we can still do a 438. We're trying to keep it around 400,000. But even after we use all of that, we'll still have the 101,000 left over. And then if we were to choose to go ahead with any of those, then that's how much it would be right there. So,
Those are very low estimates though, because they don't include culverts and
Right, any of the
shoulder work,
ditching, any of the
ditching,
prep
or-
work or anything, so.
Gotta believe paving costs are gonna go through the roof.
Well, that's what I keep saying, and they said, oh, no, it's locked in. I know, my
No, it's-
business, last week it went through the roof. It's just, and they charge you when it's delivered, not what the
Right.
price that you think it is.
Right.
It's called escalation clauses, and they're gonna be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just worry that even if it is a good year to even think about doing it, but I know people wanna spend that money that's there, but you know,
Hmm.
it may be one of those years because it's skyrocketing.
Mhm.
If you see something, Pete, maybe back off a little bit.
How is some of those, I guess we can wait and see, but there must be other roads that, like, we were playing the waiting game for prices to come down, there must be other projects in need,
That are non-asphalt
Yeah.
required, you mean?
yeah, maybe,
There could be.
or portions of, or prep work for,
There could be some transfer around. The thing that their belief was that if you take the 300, and we said about 100 left in there,
Mhm.
gives you to go on and do
Yeah.
those lower projects. But it's like a fire truck fund, you put money in there, instead of deplete to zero every year, you have to start over, at least have something there for a catch-all. And for catastrophic issues that might come up. You know, if you need money to do a major flood or a major accident.
Well, I think we also had a concern is if we depleted that fund and then you had to wait for town meeting to appropriate money. And then you ended up doing the work at the end of the summer and it lagged because, you know, you had higher costs and
And it's the end of the year. You
It's
get
the
to
end
know
of the year.
your new road's good for about 2 weeks until it gets covered with snow. It's not a good time to
so
do that.
as it's sort of drafted now, the reserve would have approximately 480 in it.
Approximately right about 480 in the road.
So we had. We started out with 469 plus the
Mhm.
450. Minus 228, we now have 691,000 in that account.
in there. And then take 438 out of that.
Yeah.
Then you still have the 200 left over about.
And the idea was that we voted on last year and approved that anything left in the maintenance side of things rolls in as to build that fund.
Right.
So
We
hopefully we wouldn't
may
have
have,
to.
we may have done that last week. Was there a leftover yet, or we don't know?
We don't know yet.
Okay,
And we probably won't know. I mean, it's hard to,
right.
For the roads.
it's just like
Yeah.
in leftover in the
Henry
maintenance.
just asked, he goes, can we count on probably having 50,000 left over from roads? I said, probably.
But you don't know. I
You
mean,
can try to make it work if that's something that you wanted to do, but for the most part, I mean, I think we still.
I don't want to sacrifice need if
Right.
we've got to get some stuff improved around
there's a
town.
lot of things you can do.
Yeah,
But I was just curious if there was a number, but yeah. Okay.
Do the 3 roads that were done last year need this next?
People have different opinion, okay?
Okay, what,
My opinion was to leave them be for a year
Mhm.
and then do them the following year. But
Mhm.
I've been outvoted on that.
oh,
Like we left Pond Road and now we have to do it. It's been a year, it's gotta be done.
okay,
And unfortunately, that was done here again, late in the year, it's very poorly done.
oh,
So it's more important to definitely cover those.
oh,
And you're talking the finished, just the finished coat, the wear surface,
yeah,
but
so we currently have 204,000 left in the roads account minus the last snow plow paving. Not paving, snow plowing payment. But I mean, around 200,000, you can probably, yeah.
but one more payment's coming out of that too, though, right?
Right, right, and I mean, that'll be about 30,000, so.
Okay. And then
Can't- can't
we still have,
possibly snow again.
you still have all your
Do we?
grading to do out of there, all your spring work. You can cut a lot of brush.
Yeah.
So it could be diminished down to 20 or 30,000.
Sure.
Technically, it should go to zero,
Technically,
but if it doesn't, at least we know it's going back into where
right.
it was designated,
Like we got the calcium chloride flakes,
ordered, right?
yeah, we got that bid in, and so we can start putting in that request and planning for that as, you know, everything starts drying out. The roads where I'm starting to plan on getting that swept and then the lines repainted on that, and so that will clear out those lines. Brush and tree, we have a pretty robust amount, but probably doing some prep work for next year's roads. And then also ditching. So we have some culverts we were talking about. We have one driveway culvert and then any prep work or continuation of work from the previous roads that were done. And so we currently have 50,000 in the budget just for ditching. I think that will actually put that to good use this summer.
How much momentum is there right now for the bonding concept? Is that something we're gonna see this spring?
So we had a meeting on Friday with the bank to discuss possible bond anticipation notes and then applying for bonds for next year. Because they said spring is probably the better time, but you have to get your applications in for August, for November, for May and February. So we missed that time frame for May work for the bonds. We could do it in the fall, but then you're basically paying interest on something that you're not really spending yet. So they said that it's better to apply in February for May work, like paving work.
In the bond. I don't wanna waste any more time, but the bonding, if I'm recalling my memory of the bonding, I think it was like. Functional in the sense of getting a lot done at once, but I don't know if it necessarily helped us distribute the. Ongoing expenses related to roads. It's like nice to kind of like always be doing one. I don't know. I just remember, I felt like when we were bonding in like 18-19, we were always trying to like hold that. 300,000, but most of that it's like we ended up not doing a lot of work during the bond repayment time and as a way to sort of keep the tax burden from down. And I think I just want to be conscientious about that. If it's nice to get, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm just commenting on my memory of that experience because we were budgeting like $75,000 to roads and then 300, 225 is going towards the bond payment. And
We
we
got
weren't
behind.
doing anything.
We got
And
behind.
we got behind during that.
It's very
payback
obvious.
time.
We got way behind during that period.
So I want to be sensitive to like the approach and the plan, and if that's a desired approach from the town. I don't know, I'm not on the road committee and I'm not totally fluent in this, but I do recall that time frame from like 18 to like last year. And we didn't do much for roads, and I think we're kind of paying for that to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Anyhow, that's my 2 cents on that.
I think if there's a certain interest rate, in contrast to the inflation, that you could predict coming up over the next few years to kind of understand what that might look like.
Right.
And then like you said, having a plan for that. Like they said, doing it applying for it in February and having it ready to go for May, is a better option because then you're not paying down on the interest, waiting to get work done. And if you already have it contracted and everything, you can also apply for a bond anticipation note so you can get it sooner.
Alright.
And pay for it up front and then have the work done later. Amy, you were also in the meeting.
Yeah.
Is that how you understood that as well?
Did they let you know what the rates were?
They said that they get bond applications for the bond bank. They get applications from different municipalities or applicants, and then they take that whole thing as a package and then put it out. And so then they get a bid on the overall amount, and then it just depends on that what they come back with. And then they'll kind of piecemeal it out and say, here you go, but this is the rate based off of what they get.
They said it was kind of like mid-4, right? Is it
Yeah.
Like, 4.3, 4.4.
It's not cheap money, but yeah.
Right.
Was there 2 emails or just one?
Just one. I just said,
That was the budget timeline. It didn't have anything.
it didn't
else.
have 2 other attachments.
But-
So the
Oh.
other 2 attachments
yeah.
were videos.
The videos.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
They take,
So it
they
did
take
go
forever
through.
to play
I
on.
certainly wouldn't get that here. Okay.
Yeah, so the videos were just a presentation that they had slide
Okay.
points in and kind of gave a breakdown on
I was
them.
just looking for that, something like they'd sent before, but we.
Yeah.
I'll have to look.
No,
I've got a lot of emails lately regarding the schools.
Yeah, we'll see if it comes out. Hopefully it comes out soon.
Mm.
If you saw the paper that Amy had,
Mhm.
I assume they still use the same.
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. And
It'd be good if we could, for our next meeting, have that,
Mm.
because that kind of answers all our questions.
yeah, I mean, generally, we had somebody that went to I mean, for years, I used to go to the RSU meetings, and so I always used to get that kind of ahead of time. Or, but it also would get sent to, I thought, the town manager for each town after the meeting.
Good to know.
But if not, we can always reach out and ask them. to- But I can't find mine from last year. All I see is the
I've got
one
it.
from
Yeah, I have another
24.
file. This was my short file, it's in the big file.
So minutes for the next meeting, revenues, any school documents. Is there anything else?
Revenues, estimate on, I don't know if you can do an estimate on where surplus might be.
Okay,
That's gonna be a biggie.
okay. And then,
What's the date of that meeting?
April 14th,
Yeah,
our next meeting, April 14th.
yeah.
I will probably not be home yet.
okay.
So the select board's gonna be meeting on April 7th, so they're, I see on here, they're gonna do a final budget review then.
Mhm.
But then our meeting is scheduled for April 14th.
Yeah,
And we'll do a kind of final budget review, but then there's also set aside April 21st.
Mhm.
And May 5th for possible select board or joint meeting. With,
I'll be back.
I thought it wasn't until May when our joint meeting.
oh, yeah, May 19th,
Yeah,
but
it was okay, that's it, May.
up here, it just says joint meeting, possible joint meeting.
It'd probably be better to have a joint meeting sooner than later.
Yeah,
I think at the next select board meeting, we're gonna be going over a draft warrant. I sent one to Henry and he put lines on it and expanded it and
Mhm.
did some revisions to it. I've gotta go back and talk with him about some of the revisions. I can send this to you if you'd like as well, just to kind of
Mhm.
have an idea. It doesn't look the same because it's kind of spread out and italicized. But it's got all the blocks in there and some of them have moved as far as everything goes. I told him I just don't want to put anything into this and then go back and keep changing it until we're done with the budget. I'd much rather just go through the whole budget and then get a final number and then I can go in and put it all in there and we can make sure that the warrants are correct. There were some things that might not have gotten carried over or whatnot last year. Crack ceiling was an example. I don't know if we were supposed to have that in there or not. And then two other numbers kind of flip flop. So just going through everything and then if you have any change in verbiage, that would be good, but I'll send
and I
this out.
think also looking a couple of years ago, when they moved some of those contributions,
Mhm.
we kind of see how it was presented in a warrant article
Yeah,
to the towns. You know, kind of explanation they did.
yeah, it would be good to make sure it's not confusing. So, like your insight on that, so I'll send that out,
Or wrong.
or wrong, yep. So estimates and then the draft warrant, I will send that to you in an email. We'll have the minutes for both meetings at the next. Both meetings.
So we are set for April the 14th, correct?
14th.
Okay. Make a motion, we return.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.